Hey Jimmy.
Hey, hi Sudhi.
Hey, how are you?
Good sir, how are you?
Good, thank you. Thanks for joining.
Eight.
Okay, so when Sajith joins, uh, let's just give it a minute more for Sajith to join. Then we will get started by 9:03. Okay, so let's get started. Sajith will join soon. So thank you everyone for joining. Today's session is uh, for job search tips and tricks. I have invited Sajith and Jimmy. Sajith is a recruiter and the HR for Replicon. Jimmy, who is the regional head of Tech Mahindra, who is based out of Canada. They have volunteered to have the session today so that we can answer all the questions related to the job search. Okay, so let's get started. So Jimmy, thanks for joining. So we will start with the first question, and this is going to be a more of a Q&A kind of thing. But Jimmy will start explaining
Yeah.
as and when the question or
Also,
whatever
also,
the
the, also
questions.
the also the house rules of taking it easy on Jimmy applies.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is the first time I think Jimmy I have got catch hold of Jimmy, so I'm going to be a bit hard on Jimmy. Just kidding, man. So, anyways, let's get
I'm
started.
just looking for the leave button. No, I'm just
Okay. Okay, thanks. So, Jimmy, could you please just give a high level overview of how the Canadian market is right now, and
yes.
if when compared to the last year, how is it, or what are the things you are seeing right now?
Sure. Thanks, Sudhi. Hi, everyone. This is Jimmy Varghese. I've been with Tech Mahindra for close to 4 years. Prior to being with Tech Mahindra, I'm just going to start with an introduction about myself, just so that everybody understands where I'm coming from. Prior to being in Tech Mahindra, I did a lot of recruitment for Deloitte for close to 8.5 years. And that has been inclined towards IT and junior IT hiring. I used to hire in high volumes for Deloitte Tech Consulting. I came here with Tech Mahindra, and it's been about 4 years. I've been leading their IT for Canada. Pretty soon, moved to quite a few parts in US as well and South America. The market as it stands right now, and that's what Sudhi's question was. The market as it stands right now, last year this time was still pretty warm. I think what happened was up until March last year is what we would call the IT boom. I remember my team hustling, huddling to release close to 170 offers per month and having only about 130 people join. That was crazy volumes. I was literally putting ads out on WhatsApp saying, if you're an IT recruiter, please join me. Cut back another year and 4 months later, we're in a situation where a lot of variables have happened, including the war, including the interest rate rise, the inflation curbing. It has led to a market that's, I would say, I wouldn't say bad for IT. I would say it's not ideal for the mass IT market. However, in pockets, we see a lot of niche skills. A lot of clients coming to us saying, hey, I need a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this. So clients have now suddenly moved to upper hand. So this is similar to a real estate market where if you now the buyers have the say rather than the sellers, right? So the according to me, till compared to last year, this year at this point does not look very ideal for the mass IT hiring market.
Thanks, Jimmy. And I believe the immigration, since the immigration has been reopened, even the number of candidates who is applying right now is a bit higher than compared to the last 2 years. Am I right, Jimmy?
Absolutely, I think, and again, this is what they call a draft period. It's similar to the December to January change, right?
Yep.
And my boss comes and tells me, "Yeah, your December numbers are so low, but your January numbers are so high." Now, the idea is that after 12th of December, nobody wants people to join them on
Yep.
billing because
Yep.
clients are off on long holidays, right? It is
Yep.
very similar to what has happened in the immigration side, right? Because of the effects of late 2021 and early 2022, people have been barging through the immigration. There has been a talent surplus. Today, employers have gotten onto the driving seat. I remember, and Sudhi, you were part of it too. Those months, we used to dabble with contractors who used to have billing rates that were insane, three-digit billing rates per hour. Right? We were going back and telling the clients, please give us this billing because we will not be able to take these people on.
True.
But today things have changed, right? Yeah.
Yep. It's kind of getting back to normal or pre-pandemic level.
Absolutely. I think, I don't need to be quoting rates right now, and don't hold me to it, please. This is a very informal session, and whatever I say right now is not representative of Tech Mahindra. Back in the days when I landed 50 to 75 to 80 was the contractor R for from, and I mean from senior to niche. At the pandemic level, whatever I said was the high range was the starting range. And people are going well into the 130s, the 140s. But today we are witnessing what Sudhi mentions is a normalization of all of that.
Yeah. Thanks, Jimmy. So today we will, I will just go through the few questions which I received, and I'll also try to help Jimmy with the answer. In the meantime, I'm just trying to reach out Sajith. I think he got stuck somewhere. But yeah, in the meantime, we'll cover it up. So the first question is, I am applying for a number of jobs, but I'm not getting any responses. Yeah, you want to add something to it, Jimmy? Because the most of the people, they are trying to apply for numerous jobs, but they are not able to. There is no response or the rejection emails are flooding. So what do you think about it? So once you complete, I'll take it up.
Sure. And I think Sajid's also asking to be let into the speaking room.
Yeah, now I'm going to go hard on Sajid because he's late for the party. Hey Sajid.
Sure. So Sajid, do you
Right.
want to take this question? I just moved the monkey from my shoulder to yours.
That's fine. That's fine. Um, so you are asking, can you just repeat the question again?
Yeah, but before that, let me introduce Sajid to the audience. So Sajid is the recruiter for Replicon, and he have been very helpful in all our sessions because we met during the pandemic time, during the audio sessions and all. And from that time onwards, we have been working together. Sajid have been helping a lot of recruiters, sorry, a lot of job seekers on getting their jobs and helping them fix their mistakes during the job search. And that is the reason why I invited him. He has got a lot of experience. And on top of that, just wanted to add something. This is a informational session. There is a disclaimer here. This is purely an informational session. There is no marketing here. So there is no, you cannot quote us on the rates or the numbers what we are giving. It might be just some random numbers we are throwing on the salary and all. You have to do your due diligence for your salary range when you are trying to apply for a job. So thanks Ajit for joining. So the first question is, like a lot of candidates have been applying for the numerous jobs, but they are not getting selected or they are getting the rejection emails. So what do you think the most of the candidates making the mistakes when they are trying to apply for the job?
Just what you and actually you answered the question itself. So when you say that the disclaimer that you mentioned, right, saying that this is just information session, you have to do your own research. That is the biggest problem. Now, a simple example I'll give you: when you're buying a car or when you're buying a house or anything, right? For that matter, even when you're going for a date or marrying someone, right, you do a lot of research. You try to find a lot of things about this person, about the car, about the house that you're going to buy, right? Career is something that will help you get everything, right? Your job, your career is something that, but do we do enough research on that, right? What kind of companies are we looking at? Do we have a target list of companies? Do we have the target list of roles that we are looking for? Do we have the exact title that we are looking for? Also, do we have the list of hiring managers or the people in those target companies whom we need to network with, right? Are we connected with them? So the point that see, resume, having the right resume, having that is all basic, right? I think we have reached a point where that itself is not enough. There are a lot of things that go in the recruitment process, right? Each company is different, I agree to that, but there are fundamentals in the recruitment process. How many of the people who are searching for jobs know what the recruitment process is? The whole idea is, when you're going to a new country, you need to understand what is the process in that particular country. Your skills is only 50%. The rest of the things is all your soft skills and other things that comes into play in Canada specifically. And also understanding the process, right? When we say that even at a downturn, when things are not looking good, whatever jobs are there, it is getting filled because of the network that you have, because there are a lot of internal references that happen. I know, Sudhir, you have been doing your level best to bring all the jobs to one platform, and you have been aggressively trying to ensure that people get the maximum out of it. But how many people, recruiter, how many job seekers do their due diligence, right? Now, simple example, I've told this in the group also. You have a lot of recruiters jobs email IDs who are with their jobs in those posts, right? How many job seekers have actively tried to connect with these recruiters and then build a network from them? Because you're giving the jobs on a platter. Beyond that, research is not being done, right? So my these are difficult times, right? Even though we are looking that maybe in the next 3 months things might pick up, these are very difficult. Right? 2023 has not been a great year for any job seeker. I will say people with jobs looking for a new job, or for new job seekers in a country like Canada, this is not a great year. But having said that, there are some people who have cracked it. However, they've cracked it, they have tried to understand what the process is and uh, customize their strategy based on the process what works in Canada. We have all shared, I think, Jimmy, you and a lot of people have shared what works in that. But what all has been shared, people, my concern is people have taken only some 20-30% of it and have to try it work it out. There are no miracles. You just need to follow the process.
Thank you. I'll let Jimmy continue to answer that, and after that we'll take the question. I'll open it up for everyone. Okay, Jimmy, just add.
Okay, yeah, 100% agree with Sajith, and I'm thinking that Sajith has a view on my notes that I made, because he's answered everything from what I had pointers on. But the idea is that we are thinking alike because we are on the inside or the other side of the table here, right? This has not been anything close of an ideal year. It started from the war to the interest rate hike. Simple. Most of the IT lies with BFSI. I'm hoping everybody understands that's banking and financial services and insurance. And they are huge employers of IT talent because they have constant digital transformation, constant migrations from legacy systems, constant need of consulting and picking up the pace as per competitor moves. And what we see here is that a spike in interest rates decreases the applications to mortgages, which decreases the spending that spending power that the banks have, which decreases the IT budget for the year. Simple. That is just how the dominoes fall. There's no real mathematics to it. It's just that they have strapped on their IT spend. They have only been hiring in pockets. And I will tell you right now, to add to Sajid's point, it's a very controversial opinion, but I'll tell you this right off the bat. Most of these companies pay thousands, if not millions of dollars for their ATS system, an applicant tracking system. In the past 6 years, most of these applicant tracking systems, if Jimmy, as a regional head, has 300 jobs under him, the applicant tracking system is smart enough to pick up and match 30,000 candidates who are already in the system against those 300 jobs. So a new applicant comes in and gets stacked as per an old applicant. We need to understand that right now. And that has to be your single holy grail to cut to what Sajid said. Start networking, start mentoring, be open to the mentorship that you need to get into a company. If you have a logo, forget a job role. Go after the people. Go after the business. Don't go after the recruitment team. This is something that I need to tell you, and I've been preaching this internally for years, a decade and a half. You have to understand the limitations of the internal recruitment team. Let's suppose that I have a patch of Canada and North America for banking, engineering, and oil and gas. I am giving my company 100 joiners. 100 joiners, let's say at a best ratio. The best ratio is 1:4. So I'm presenting 400 resumes. To get 400 resumes, I'll have to at least ask two people for one people to say yes to be presented for the role. So 800 people I have contacted. Out of 800 people I have contacted, I have to schedule at least for half the roles 2 rounds. So I've got 1200 checkpoints. So do you think a 20-member team has the bandwidth or the capacity to get away from 1200 checkpoints to your ping, to your email, to your application? We'll have to rethink that. Cut back to a referral coming through from a business person saying, "Hey, Jimmy, I found this really bright AWS architect. He sent me a portfolio. Yeah, can you just set up a round with him?" Now, that is worth its weight in gold. So, back to Sajid's point, the mentorship holds very, very high positions if you look at it in the hierarchy of your application. So, that's all I have to say, Sudhir and Sajid, right? I'm just adding.
No, that's great. That's a great insight. Thanks, Jimmy and Sajid. So we'll open up for questions. Anyone who wants to ask a question, they can raise the hand and they can come to the speaker panel and they can ask the question. So Sajid, in the meantime, and yeah, we are getting the questions now. Yes, Sindhu. Senthil, you have any question? Or else we'll move to the next person, Garima.
Hey guys, I do have a question. So I have tried both the ways. The first one is just applying and applying and applying as soon as the job is posted, and the other one, as you guys said, is reference and networking. So what I've seen is that for me, networking is not working. I tried networking with a lot of people, but only got response from like one person. And when I tried the first one, that is just applying and applying, that's when I really got the response. So what should be done?
Sajid, you want to take it up?
Yeah. So the first response is like having a blindfold and then throwing a dart reverse, right? Expecting that the dart will somehow it will land somewhere. The dart will land somewhere, right? 100 times you try, the dart will definitely hit the second. There's a possibility that it will hit a couple of times, right? The reason, okay, off the bat, what I'd ask you is, what are your top 5 companies that you have in mind?
Sorry, is that a question for me?
Yes, Karima.
I don't have anything specific. I just need a job. That's it.
No, that is a wrong approach, right? So that means you're saying I have to go to Banff. I don't know which road I'm going to take. I'll take any road that leads me to Banff. So I'll go east and hoping that it will cross Nova Scotia and reach Banff,
Mm-hmm.
right?
So
Yep.
See, a job search, that is why they say that a job search is a job in itself, right? You need to have a strategy, you need to have the direction as to where you want to go and how you want to go. The first thing, that's what I'm saying. Now, my first statement was this: are we giving it serious thought? Are we giving enough research on? Now if you want to, if your career, a job is the most important thing that you need right now in Canada, why wouldn't you spend half an hour, 1 hour daily on first researching the top 20 30 companies that you want to get a job in? What are the roles that you want to be? Do you want to be a data engineer or data analyst? That has to be confirmed. You can't be either a data engineer or a data analyst. If you want to be a data engineer, your LinkedIn profile should only say I want to be a data engineer, whatever said. If you want to be a data analyst, it has to say I only want to be a data analyst, right? I know the challenge. I've been in your shoes just 5 years back. I know the challenges that are there. The the only thing that saved my skin was 6 months of research before coming to Canada, and networking. That's the only thing that saved me, and that is why I have been highlighting that, and all people who have had this experience would always highlight that. The reason being that if you don't do enough research, and Jimmy just made the point, right? Among 1,000 2,000 applications right now, we just had that tiny discussion in a group where Sudhir posted. He said within couple of hours for a QA post, 200 applicants had come. I shared the statistics saying that there are 2,000 people in QA alone looking for jobs. In Ontario itself, there are 600 people actively looking for jobs. I did a Scrum Master role. I got 1,800 applications for just a Scrum Master, and all those people are qualified people, right? How do I, as an individual, scan 1,800 resumes and pull Garima from Singh from that list? How do I do that? But if my data scientist or if my engineering manager had said, apart from the, I know that you're searching for a lot of people. I have a candidate who has approached me. I had a conversation with her. Can you have a look at this profile? Among this 2,000 applications, I will definitely have a look at Garima's profile. If that profile matches the role, I will definitely have the conversation. Why? Because my engineering manager has said that he already has spoken to Garima Singh, and he wanted to evaluate your profile. Whether you would get it or not, that is a 50-50 chance, but you have crossed the first 50.
Okay.
yeah, on top of that, Garima, I would just add to that. So since you are saying that you are a data analyst, you have to have a good either Tableau profile or a Power BI profile. Okay, if you are looking as a data analyst, this is for all the data analysts. If you have a good portfolio to present, right, that makes the job very easy. Because I am not a data analyst, I'm an agile consultant, but still I am very much interested in Power BI and Tableau. I have both Power BI and Tableau dashboards. I put the URL in my resume when I'm trying to apply for the job. So the hiring manager, how I sell myself to a hiring manager is that I'm saying that, say I'm an agile consultant with Tableau or a dashboard skills, Power BI skills. So I can build agile dashboards in Tableau. I can build agile dashboards in Power BI. And then what I do is I show the sample dashboards which I have already built in my portfolio. So this is one another way by which you can showcase your skills. You have to have a portfolio outside of your resume. Maybe it might be LinkedIn, or maybe kind of a website or a GitHub profile or a Tableau profile or a Power BI profile, whatever it is. That actually helps you a lot when you're trying to search for the job. Okay, and networking, you said that you have some issues with the networking, right? Networking doesn't mean that you just buzz someone in LinkedIn, a stranger, and ask the question, or can I get a job in your company? That's not actually the networking is. That's a different thing. Because of the number of requests which is coming in to every person here in Canada, that is the reason why most of them doesn't respond to the question. Try to join the meetups. There are a lot of meetups which is happening based out of Toronto. Most of them are online, and most of them few are kind of in person. Yeah, the Thursday, this coming Thursday, we have an agile kind of meetup, guiding all the scrum masters on how to get started in with the agile, or what is the agile career, agile journey. So when you come to that session, you will meet a lot of agile folks who are working currently in the banks, or at least in Canada. So that by attending these kinds of session, you are actually building your profile, or you are building your network. You are starting to build your network here in Canada. Then you have to continue with that network. You have to make that network into a relationship. That is how me, Sajith, Jimmy, everyone met. We met through social media, and then we started discussing the things which we are interested in, and then we took our relationship to the next level. That's a kind of four-step process which you have to follow to build a network to a personal connection.
And also, Jimmy said it correctly, right? Don't network with recruiters. The recruiter job is to close the position. Whom you should network is also important. If you're looking at data engineering jobs, you should be networking with the data scientist or engineering manager of data science, right? How many people in that networking strategy have you requested for a coffee? Right now, most of these people are not, they are in office, sorry, they're at home, I understand that, but some of these people are at least going 1 day or 2 days to office, right? You could meet outside their office. I have done that. I have invited senior managers for a coffee. Earlier, before COVID, it was easier. Now it's difficult. I'm not saying it's easy, but people are still open for having a 15 minutes coffee break. If you're buying them coffee, or even if they will buy you a coffee, but they are open to have that just 15 minutes outside down their office. People are open for that. It's a matter of taking the next step, rather than just expecting that you send an invitation on LinkedIn and that is a network connection. The quality of the network is very important when you're doing networking, and each networking activity or strategy takes time, right? It's not that because you are connected on LinkedIn they will help you. Now let's say you have you want a role, and Jimmy has a role. If you send your profile to Jimmy or me, just because you're connected does not mean that we will be able to help you in the job process, right? So set up realistic goals, find out who is the hiring manager, and try to connect with them to make networking meaningful.
Thank you, Sajid. So let's move on to Govind. And whoever is listening, we have a kind of a couple of WhatsApp groups where we share all the jobs which is coming our way. So in case you want to join that WhatsApp group, you can buzz me or Sajid. We'll add you. Okay, and Garima, you can also buzz me. I'm pretty good with this data visualization and everything. I have some articles, I have some written some blogs for data analyst, and I had a kind of training session last week, guiding how you can get job as a data analyst. Maybe I can share those details with you. Okay, we'll go to
Sure, that'd be
Govind.
great. Thank you.
Yeah, Govind.
Hello, Sudhir. Hello, Sajid. Speaking about myself, I worked at a major bank, one of the most popular banks in Canada. So I've worked there for over 7 months, and then since after March 31st, I've been trying for a job as an iOS developer for over 2 months till now. And then I do receive calls. It's not that I don't receive at all, but looking at the banking experience, I do receive calls. But my problem is that I don't receive the proper feedback from recruiters. There's always a recruiter company. There's a staffing company like Tundra, Randstad, and XYZ companies. They schedule interviews with the client, and then what happens is after the interview I don't get the feedback, if it's a yes or no, where I did go wrong. I don't know why is this happening to me, or is it for everybody out there. So it's called ghosting, right? Recruitment, recruiter ghosting you. He's not telling you the feedback after the interview.
Okay.
It just happened last
Yeah,
week too.
yeah, we got it. Jimmy, do you want to take a stab on
Do I want to take a controversial stab on it?
it? Whatever.
No, Jimmy, you take the controversial. You be the bad cop. I'll be the good cop.
Okay.
Govind, you've heard of recruiter ghosting. Have you heard
I
of?
mean, yeah, the recruiter and also the interviewer who has interviewed me. It's it has happened over three
Yeah,
times, I believe, and I literally have I've sent every recruiter or their manager
fair enough. Fair enough.
my.
Yo, I completely understand. Go in, and first of all, I apologize. I know it's a very tough position to be in after coming out of a marquee employer, like you mentioned. It's a little hard because again, it's not an ideal market, and that goes to Garima as well, right? It's not an ideal market. It's a great time to sharpen the blade and everything that you dreamed of doing apart from your day job as well. I'm just saying that, but that's a different conversation, right? Take up whatever path you get, because don't stop the hustle of applying, because that will happen one day. You will be out of this entire vicious loop. But go in. Here's the controversial stab on your question. You've heard of recruiter ghosting, but you've not heard of interviewer ghosting. You've not heard of delivery ghosting. You've not heard of
Yeah,
client ghosting, right?
yeah.
The layers that are involved in this big pastrami sandwich called recruiting is unbelievable, right? Again, I'm not trying to defend recruiters here, but you cannot kill the messenger because the game is bigger, right? The game is bigger because there are multiple layers where we don't hear back, because there are so many options. There's a talent surplus right now. We work with vendors because we have multiple checkpoints. We work with multiple delivery managers. We work with hundreds of positions. Certain positions never even sell because they're out of budget. This is not our cookie cutter profile. We deserve a cookie cutter profile because it's a great market to hire, etc., etc., etc. So the ghosting applies as much as to you, to me as well. Out of my 300 positions open, I am only running at a run rate of 25%, which means the client only hires today from me at 75 positions a month when they open 300. So again, I sympathize with you, I empathize with you, but that is part and parcel. That is part and parcel of the recruitment process. I experience it too. I'm not sure if Sajith has a different experience, but me coming from the portfolio I manage, I experience ghosting myself. Going.
Yeah, so this is the generic thumb of rule which I follow. I After 5 days, I send out a follow-up email, and if I don't hear back, I just ignore it, because that's it. If they need you, they will get back to you.
That's it.
That's it. So I just move on, because I'll take whatever I learn from that interview, and then I prepare for the next one, because I don't have time to sit and feel sad for the interview. I just learn the lessons from that and just move on.
Yeah.
So wait for a week, send out a follow up email, and then better to move on.
And Jimmy and Sudhir, I have I have this important question to ask. While this process of applying for jobs and then applying for every company, so some hiring managers, they do tell me that my resume is too long enough to uh, you know to process or to shortlist. Some say that for a 6 years developer like me who's into BFS and e-commerce app development, the resume should be short enough. It should be just uh, in one page. The whole content should fit in a one page. So, what's your take on this? Like, is it really necessary to have a certain format of a resume having one page, fit all the details
Yeah,
inside?
before Jimmy answer that question, I'll answer what I do. So basically, what I do is I create portfolios outside of resume. Means I have a Tableau profile, I have my LinkedIn, I have my articles and my case studies published in Google Drive. I have my research work done somewhere. I have my GitHub profile, and I provide these URLs in my resume. So my resume is just 2 pages, but there are 8 links in my resume which will take them to each of the case studies or each of my Tableau visualization things, the tools which I have built, my website, my personal website, all these things. So that is how I generally do. I just keep 2 page resume, and I put 8 links there, and these hiring managers go and visit all these places, and that's how I sell myself. Jimmy, you want to add something? You can, please.
Yeah, I do. And I just want to say this with a slice of humble pie, right? Um, Sending resumes is a thing of the past. I want to go back to Garima's point because I wanted to answer Garima's question. Garima and also Govind, right? I would say just go beyond the resume piece. Of course, if a hiring manager does come back and tell you, do introspect and see if that is an applicable comment, because that is a hiring manager's individual perspective on your resume and your portfolio. If you think it needs a little more trimming, go for it. If you don't, move on to the next. Similarly, going back to the point that I had to make is that I have multiple people who have impressed me on LinkedIn. I'm not going to say it, but I feel like some people have the secret sauce. Okay. I've had people who come to me and say, "Hey, Jimmy, check out this new dashboard that I've done on Power BI. You might be interested. It has some recruitment metrics on cost to hire, or that is turned around, some stuff, right? They'll send me something, I will be tempted to click on it, I will go in. Again, there is a conversation, there is a networking kind of connection. Hey, what are you doing? Okay, yeah, I'm at Conestoga College. I'm going graduating in 2024. No pressure, Jimmy. If you think at least there's conversation, right? There's a little more brimming, there's a little more than just, hey, I'm sending you my resume, can you tell me if no, how can you ask someone on the first or second meeting to get you a job, right? And I know it's very controversial, but the only reason, again, I said it, I'm saying it with a slice of humble pie. Somebody who goes through 800, 1000 resumes a month, somebody who the global average of recruiter viewing is 5 seconds now per resume. So when somebody goes through so much of volume, if your first ask is to take my resume, show me my fitment, I am thinking that you may need to pivot a little bit and say, hey, no pressure, nothing in return, check this out, right? Just change up the game a little bit. Sajid, I'll pass it on to you.
Rightly said, Jimmy. Uh, and also, Sudhir made a point, right? What information has to be there? Going to answer whether it should be a one-page resume or two-page resume, that is your choice, right? But what all content you need to have there, that is again your choice. You want to put more content, put it in form of links. Jimmy said it right when he said that beyond. So that's what we have all been saying, right? Go beyond the resume. Still looking at resume as your selling point. um, have you customized your LinkedIn so that people reach out? And Govind, to answer your first question on ghosting, I'm just waiting for things next 3 months where you will be ghosting all of us, right? So I'm waiting for that. You given the chance, I know when
Ooh,
you will ghost all of us, right?
absolutely. I've
I'm
had
waiting.
I've had 1 year of that post-COVID, Govind, where I had to hire an iOS developer and nobody would come below $80 an hour.
Yeah,
Nobody.
the last year
Yeah.
the market was so good. I received so many calls, and then I ended up taking two contracts too, but I couldn't manage that, and then I had to let go one contract. But yeah, this year, it's
I
been
know.
pretty
No,
tough.
see
And
that's what it the tide. So that ebb and flow, it happens all the time. Right now we are seeing
yeah,
shorter cycles. That is the only problem, right? 22 was a great year for candidates. 23 is not a great year till now. Yet I'm saying yet because I'm waiting for September to happen. When things pick up, it's already picked up. It's pick by September. You will be ghosting all of us. So that, don't worry about ghosting. I would say if you get feedback, like so they said, get feedback, you would get it. You could also reach out to the hiring manager who interviewed you, send them a thank you note, thank you for the interview. I haven't heard from the recruiter, but I just want, if you had any feedback to improve my interview process, right? You could always say, if they give it, take it, otherwise leave it, right? That's how I would go.
Yeah, thank you.
Jimmy,
No, Govind, sorry, we had to move on to the next person. Few people are in the line.
all
Oh,
right,
sorry
sure.
for that. Okay, and as Jimmy said, send a LinkedIn or a Power BI dashboard. I built a immigration dashboard and I sent it to the IRCC. I'm not sure what they have responded. I have yet to check, but yeah, built a immigration dashboard and sent to the IRCC saying that this is your immigration pattern for the past 6 years.
That was a
Okay.
good dashboard, Sudhir.
Yeah.
I sent your dashboard to a couple of people.
Okay. Oh, you have seen that, right? Yeah. Okay, Disha.
So they hope you mentioned that we don't need more QA people in Canada.
Oh, yeah. No, I didn't mention this one. I just that's the immigration dashboard only for the express entry, telling that how many points were there, how many people came in per year, those kinds of details. It's in my portfolio. Okay,
I
Disha,
think
please go
we
ahead.
have quite a few of questions
Hi
actually. Yep.
everyone.
Yep, yep. Yeah,
Hi
Disha.
everyone. Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So thank you so much for really good, insightful session of today. I want to go ahead as a business analyst in my career. So initially, what happened is that I don't have enough experience, and I have joined like I asked so many people on LinkedIn, and many people they suggested me to go ahead with this IIBA certificate, which I already did it, but still I feel that I'm not even getting an interview for the business analyst role. And also I have a question that there should be only a one resume, because all business analyst position have a like little bit different job descriptions. So how should I go ahead with that thing?
Yeah.
Sajid? Oh, Jimmy. Yeah, please go ahead. Go ahead, Jimmy.
Okay. So Disha, I'm just going to burst the bubble here. The certification unfortunately may not have that much value,
Okay.
but it's a great point of confidence for you. Okay. It
Okay.
is a booster for you and your profile. In in 2022 up till March, and I'm talking from August of 2020 up till March of 2022, a good long 18 odd months, right? We had a phenomenal run, right? At
Yeah.
that point, the ask was, Sir, get me a BA.
Okay.
Sir, get me 5 BAs, 10 developers, right? That was the requisition. Today, get me a BA that understands capital markets, get me a BA that understands commodities, get me a BA that has done an Azure cloud migration, get me a BA that has done a mainframe migration. So, what I'm trying to tell you is the specificity has gone back into the experience, we, as opposed to the qualification. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah.
Right? People have zeroed in because there is a talent surplus, Disha.
Okay.
So, my request is this: go to someone and find out if you could do a pro bono project on any banking, telecom, retail kind of IT project. Put that on your resume. Work for
Okay.
free, even if it is in India. Work for free. Come back, put it on your resume, and go after those companies that are hiring specifically that.
Okay.
Do not go BA. That market is gone, my friend. We'll have to wait for it. The ebb and flow, I don't know when it comes, it comes. But the specificity has to be very, very well drawn right now for the BA market, in my opinion. That's just me. I can move it on to Sudhi and Sajid.
Yeah, I'll just add to it. So when I started my research back in 2019, I thought QA would be the most common role. But to my surprise, when I did my survey, BA was the role where the most number of candidates were. So out of 100, BA would have like 40, QA would have 30, and remaining would be 30. Okay, so BA is the most common role, which is, I mean, more number of candidates are available currently in the market. So I usually recommend the BAs to upgrade their domain skill, which is very important. One is capital markets, one is wealth, one is credit cards, finance, risk, compliance, everything. Because these are the things which is required in the market, and these are kind of a few of these things, regulatory things, are evergreen. Means all the banks, all the companies have to comply with the regulatory affairs throughout their working time. So at that time, they need people with very good domain skills. So I usually recommend BAs or who people who are trying to get into BA to upgrade the skills by reading the articles or by reading the news or by doing some crash course and learn the domain. Domain skill is very, very, very much important right now, or else it will end up with just a requirement, writing requirement in Jira or Confluence, that you thousands of candidates can do it. But right
Yes.
now, if you have the domain skill, you can get into the job right now, because all the BA roles which I am sharing in these groups right now, they are asking for this domain skills, unfortunately. Okay, so
Oh,
you have to upgrade your domain skills,
okay.
and PM me. I'll send you all the details, whatever I have spoken of.
Sure.
Okay, thanks, Visha.
Thank you
Uh,
so much.
yeah, thank you. We'll
Disha, if
move
you
on
have
to
a
Namrata.
technical skills, you can look for business system analyst roles. If you have technical, if you have any cloud, like what Jimmy has said, if you have some cloud experience, migration experience, you can always try for business system analyst roles also.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you,
thank you.
guys.
Yeah, thanks. Let's move on to Namrata.
Good
Let's make
evening.
it a bit faster, Namrata. Okay,
Absolutely. So,
sure.
good evening, everyone. So far, hearing the event and the conversation between like Jimmy, Sajid, and Sudhir, I'm really sorry about that. Feeling like the recruiters and talent team are in much pain, though. That's how I feel like. And now I more feel like I should be going into the hiring team because they need like a lot more people to hire. But then, my question is about like. How does the web developer market looks like into the current condition, because I have been applying to like a lot of position, but feels like mostly apparently like most of the candidates who are like new into this market are facing quite a lot of challenge, because like uh, now companies have a lot of things, as Sajid and Jimmy mentioned that there are like they are asking for a lot many skills now. But then how come a new candidate can serve all those little bit of skills in one plate? Like it's so difficult to gather everything, and then you present and you say, oh, this looks appetite. I'm like, how can you ask the recruiter to have that appetite? I'm really curious to know that answer about.
I can take that. And first of all,
Sure.
uh, the recruitment team again is not in pain. It's just the function of the job. It's just that we have to understand that they're most, see, Namrata, I'm not trying to make any controversial statements that, oh, guys, don't reach out to us or whatever. The idea is that the reason you need a recruitment team is the same reason you need a real estate team, the same reason you need a car salesman, the same reason you need a lawyer. It's because the person who's a techie, it's not his core job to bring people into the company. And secondly, they cannot scale it to the point where the company requires more than 10, 20, in my case, 100, 150 joiners a month. So going back, my question to you is, are you a front-end developer, or are you a full stack developer, or you mentioned web, so I'm guessing front-end?
Basically, since like my undergrad degree, I was very much sure of in which career I really wanted to go for. So I started working on like a full stack development. So I started taking new technologies like React JS, working on JavaScript frameworks like Node.js, Express, and then along with it, I
Yeah.
feel like that's not enough.
Yeah.
So I have to
Yeah.
start exploring new technologies. So now I'm working at like BlackBerry as a co-op student, where I
Yeah.
got the opportunity to work on C sharp. So I started adding like a new skill in my skill set.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, fair enough. So I mean, again, I wish I had a silver bullet for your question. I don't.
Maybe I'll take it up,
I don't.
Jimmy.
Yeah, go ahead.
Front-end developers have a big advantage of creating a freelance or a website in
Mm-hmm.
React or Angular. Okay,
Yeah.
so
A
once you have
portfolio.
this, a portfolio kind of thing, I have seen people creating a sample React page, just a portfolio on their own, and they explain that features or the functions when they are trying to attend the interview. They screen share and they tell that this is how I have built it. So instead of just applying through the jobs, what is happening is you are actually demonstrating what you have actually achieved. So go to my LinkedIn. There is one guy called Hari Krishnan. Okay, if you are not able to find him, I'll provide you the link. His portfolio. He writes a lot of articles of how to get into the web development. Okay, how to start as a web developer. He helps people in writing or getting the portfolios and all. He's a very close friend of mine. So you can look at his guidance for web developer jobs. Okay.
Yeah. And Sudhi, I just want to add, just to get a couple of names in. Sorry, I missed your name. Namrata. Namrata, just to
Yeah.
get a couple of names in, Behance, CodePen, Dribble, all these platforms allow you to create your portfolio. Next time you reach someone, again, if you're sending a portfolio, don't send it to a big company. Send it to a digital agency or a startup. That's it.
Yep.
If you're a front end person, only do it to that level. Anybody who is at 300, 400 and below company in headcount, they have the appetite because there is a good percentage that they hire 10% of their workforce or 5% of the workforce per month, right? That's their net add-on, right? They're kind of like their add-on per year will not be more than X amount, right? So send it to them because they will have the time to see your portfolio. They will have the time to click on your Behance link and say, hey, check out this girl, she's got a really good portfolio. Did you make all of this yourself? Yes, I did. And don't ask for a job, just wait, just wait, have faith in that networking event, right? It will reap. That's my belief. Okay.
Absolutely. Yes.
Makes a lot of sense to me, because that is what, like, I tried to add it like my work samples in the resume. So I have like YouTube links and GitHub links, which shows like this is what the work I did. But they are like some crop recommendation systems, or I'm working like making code editors, like browser based code editors, which no one has seen. So that is like, I'm trying to add those relevant works. But then I'm just afraid of like how the web developer market is turning into, because I'm mostly looking towards like a software engineer role and then full stack developer roles, because they mostly hire like people from web development sector as well.
Yeah. So reach out to Hari in my profile. Okay, he will
Yeah,
help you out in
yeah,
that.
I have
And
noted it down definitely.
yeah, and we will have a session with him soon, probably next week. That's what I'm thinking. But yeah, if you don't have to wait until then, you can reach out to him. Okay. Thanks,
Definitely,
Namrata.
definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
looking forward to the event.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so
Hey,
much,
I'm just
Jimmy.
all I want to say, Namrata's expressions.com is available. Namratasdreams.com is available. You get what I'm saying, right? Create a personal portfolio. Who cares? Send it out. Be confident about it, right? You have nothing to lose. You're a co-op student. You're in a great place.
Absolutely.
Sounds very
Yeah.
exciting. Thank you so much, Jamie, for the confidence.
Yeah. No worries. Okay. Thanks. Let's move on to the next one, Christopher Raja. And
Hey,
unfortunately, I'm moving the speakers. Whoever spoke, I'm moving to the listening because we can have only very limited people who is in the speaker panel. That's the reason why I'm moving them to the listening. Please don't take it personally. Yeah, Christopher.
yeah, I'm a recent grad from cybersecurity, and I have like 12 years of experience back in India. So right now, my question is like, I get calls every week, like 3 to 4 calls. I get it, but my work status is like I just applied for the post graduation work permit, and yeah, the recruiters at the first point they call me, they check, okay, your profile is good, and we'll talk with the client or we'll talk with the hiring manager, and then when they ask about my work status, yeah, we will check on it, and I don't get any response. So is it just because of my work status, I'm unable to go in further in my interview process, or what it is? I just like to know
Yeah, I
about
was
it.
discussing this with Jimmy last week, I believe. Right, Jimmy?
Yeah, those discussions we can't have on this call now, but
Yep, we cannot. Unfortunately, we cannot have that. But yeah, it's a public event right now. So answer is
Okay.
yes, no. That's all what we could say. We cannot get into the details. But
I'll tell you simply: demand,
yeah, simple.
supply. Supply is more. Because of that,
choice, choice,
yeah, so
choice,
the
choice.
employees have a lot of choice, so they're choosing, okay, why have take the trouble of having a person on a work permit and then wait for that person to get PR. You already have either a PR or a citizen. Simple matter of choice.
I would say the only tip for me to Christopher is find out the firms, the third party staffing agency who specialize in cybersecurity. That's it.
Okay.
I'll drop one
Okay.
name. Landsoft is one name.
Lands of. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Go back and yeah, re-engineer your entire approach, right? Go to an XYZ staffing agency who specializes in cybersecurity. The boss, you're my broker for life for the next 10 years. Get me a job. Tell me
Okay.
what job role you're hunting for. I will do my resume in that way.
You will have a lot of
Okay.
contract
Okay.
roles which would suit you in terms of comp, also at a higher comp. Take up the best paying contract role for 1 year or 2 years and get your PR.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, Sandesh.
Hi, good evening team. My name is Sandesh. Just I wanted to ask how is the current market for QA engineers?
Jimmy, you want to take it? Or Sajid?
No, I don't want to take it. No, I'm just kidding. See,
Yeah.
the idea is, Sandesh, unfortunately, even QA, even developers, there is a little bit of Pareto, right? The idea is that there's so much of surplus talent in the market right now that people are trying to fragment and optimize areas like QA, BA, generic development, customer success managers, all of them, those towers fall prey to optimization from the CFO, finance, BU finance side. You get what I'm saying, Sandesh? There's a
Yes,
lot of tightening of budget there, right? If you're a QA right now, it is your time to sharpen the blade, boss.
Yep.
Sharpen the blade, see if you can sidetrack or get into a domain or a niche, right? Again, if you're a QA who has dealt with, let's say, Temenos, which is a wealth management platform, you have created an really, really better position for yourself, right? I could sell you to exactly the client I know that uses Temenos. You get what I'm saying, Sandesh? The
yes,
idea is that you will have to double down on the tool. You will have to double down into a domain niche that really, really separates you from the other X amount of QAs, X amount of developers, X amount of BAs that are in the market right now. So go back and check what that tool is, or else move towards that tool, work for free for a couple of months, put that in your resume, and come back into the game. That's just my 2 cents.
yeah. I recently moved to Canada. I mean, daily I'm applying for multiple jobs. I'm not getting any calls. Everybody
Yeah,
asking for 5 to 6
that's
years of experience.
exactly, Sandesh. That's the spray and pray technique. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yes,
Yeah. So
Change
that
it up.
is,
Change it up.
yeah, so that's the thing what we discussed when the call started. I told about a situation today. Like I shared a post today in our WhatsApp group. There was a QA opening in Winnipeg. Within 2 hours, 200 applicants. Okay, 2 hours and 200 applicants. So Sajid shared a status. There are 2,000 plus QA applicants in currently in Canada, out of which 600 plus is currently in Ontario, and 1800 plus scrum master profiles currently available. So the number of candidates, it's a bit high. The supply is very high right now. That might be one of the reasons. And for QA, I was a QA. I started my career as a QA, then I switched into different domains. But sharpen your technical skills and domain skills. It is very, very, very important. Whoever is listening to this, please try to learn automation. Not only automation, API automation, mobile automation, performance testing, security testing, accessibility testing, because that is what is kind of a QA full stack developer. Going forward, all the jobs which is coming might be like kind of QA full stack development, not manual QA. So there might not be manual QA anymore going forward. Hiring will be very less. You have to have very good domain skills plus auto technical skills to survive as a QA.
Hey, I just want to add a couple of changes and I'll just drop these names. If you're getting the hint, you're getting the hint. Automation specialist with payments, testing expert wealth management. It's just QA, right? But now the job roles have become domain specific all of a sudden. Sandesh, so we may need to double down on your niche here, right?
okay. Thank you so much.
Chemistry, you can go on with your question.
Yeah, thank you, Sanjit. Yeah, hi everyone. Actually, I am new to Canada from last 88 months. I'm searching for job in Canada. So every day I'm applying multiple jobs and I'm getting so many rejection emails as well. But one or two to three calls I received for HR interview. Later, I didn't get any response for that. So everyone is asking for, suppose I have experience in ETL and mainframe in past for initial 1 or 2 years. Everyone is asking for latest experience. I mean to say, recently they are asking for experience. I mean to say, suppose I have experience in testing mainframe testing initial 1 year. So now they are expecting they need to put it in my resume, like in initial days, like last 6 months, or they are expecting last 6 months experience. Why? I mean, if they are not even accepting that profile if I don't have any recent experience. That's my first question. What things I mean, why people are expecting like that? And the second question is like, uh, suppose if I worked in some other domain, especially if I'm trying to apply for some other banking domains or healthcare domain, they mostly rejecting. Is it because of domain experience, or how to, if it is a domain experience rejection, so how to improve my domain
Yes, Sajid.
experience?
I'm basically a farmer, so I'll give you a farming example, right? When it is mango season, right? When there are a lot of mangoes, you want to choose the best, juiciest mango, and you want to go buy that, right? When it is not a mango season, you're fine with any mangoes. As long as you get a mango, you're fine with that. Simple explanation for what you're facing. Every rejection is an automated rejection. Don't feel bad about that. Okay, the rejection what you get, no person is involved. Now AI is taken over. So what all you're getting rejection, as soon as your profile doesn't match the role, you're getting a rejection mail. AI has taken over. So nobody has any grudge against Hemasari specifically. It's just that it is automated. The other thing is, why are they asking relevant? Why that relevancy is tech stacks are changing very quickly, right? Earlier, what all changes used to happen in 5 years, now it's been 2 years. Now every 6 months there's a new change. If you're not relevant with that so that is one of the reasons. Even with a person with 15 years of experience, nobody cares of what he did is in his initial years. What is he currently doing in the last two roles? I think Jimmy also might be in this similar scenario. When I interview candidates, I'm least bothered what he did in the beginning of his career. I'm looking at what was the reason, what was he doing in the last two careers, what was the reason for change, and what are the technologies that he is currently working on. It has become that relevant. So that is what Jimmy is saying, specific to the domain, and why it is because roles have become specific, that titles have also become very specific, right? They're asking specific domain experience because companies don't have the time. They have a lot of people who are applying, so they're going very specific. It has nothing to do with your profile. You just need to understand what is happening in the market and apply accordingly.
I just want to add to that, Hemashri. I just think that whatever you're experiencing right now, you might be applying without really tailoring your resume. So when you say you are an ETL person, what is the ETL double click? What is the technology under ETL that you're using?
Yeah, it's Oracle ETL testing with SQL.
Correct. So you may have to go towards that, right? Right now, this ETL, I'm an ETL developer, does not work is the whole
Yeah.
sentiment.
Even that also they
Right?
are expecting like relevant recent
They,
experience, Jimmy.
yeah, and they might have little more specificity. They might come to you saying that, do you have Informatica Power Center experience? Do you have data stage experience? Right? Even in mainframe, they'll come to you and say, do you have COBOL? Do you have IBM ZOS? Right? The idea is that you'll have to go. I think you'll have to make 2-3 copies of your resume, to be honest, and get some certifications and some personal project experience in the technology within ETL, within mainframe. In my opinion, okay, you should try that.
Yeah, okay,
Thanks,
Jimmy.
Jimmy. Thanks, Jimmy, Sajid. Baby, Ravila.
Yeah, thank you for the session, first of all. And my first question is like recruiters have three categories while choosing the candidates like PR, Canadians, and work permit. So I have open work permit, and they're not referring. Priority is not much for the uh, uh, work permit people because everywhere when we go, they're giving
Ravila,
more priority.
unfortunately,
Yeah.
yeah, unfortunately, we cannot answer that question in this public forum. We already
Okay.
discussed that. Sorry for that. You can go ahead with the next question.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
When we apply for the QA jobs, they mention like many skills. If it is not relevant, like to QA, like it is DevOps, Azure Cloud, or AWS Cloud, is it really necessary for a QA to learn Azure DevOps or to improve on that? Like,
Sajid, Jimmy, you
like
want
when
to take it?
we,
Or
It's a
yes.
clear it's a clear indication that that's where the tide is going. You know, It's a clear indication that that's where the tide is going. It's a clear indication that today hiring managers are in a position to get a little bit of Iron Man, a little bit of Superman, a little bit of Batman at the price of Ant-Man. Do you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yes, yeah, got it.
A lot of options in the market. So if somebody wants you to be a cookie cutter profile, that's just the market, unfortunately, right? So maybe we'll have to play to those strengths. Sajid, over to you.
This goes for everyone, right? Even for us recruiters also, it is two roles in one. We are all marketers, we are all recruiters, we are all brand managers, we are so many things in one. Every role nowadays is a minimum of two roles fit into one, right? The reason being that when there are so many people who are open to do that, right? Now let's say baby applies for a role, I am also similar this thing. I say I have already have Azure. Jimmy says I have Azure and Google, or I have Azure and AWS, right? Now the hiring manager is saying, okay, if I have Azure, AWS and QA, then why not take that person? All are coming at the same salary.
Yeah, okay, got it.
But yeah,
Thank you
for
for the.
QA, yeah, QA, as I said earlier, you need to upgrade your skills purely from the coding perspective, because that is kind of required thing going forward. Almost all the companies are looking for people who can actually understand technology or write the code, because all the companies are heading towards kind of shift left model, and that is where they want the candidates or the employees to upgrade their skills to improve their knowledge and write automation scripts. As I said, manual testing, it's not going to survive for long. Yes, of course it will be there, but manual testers with some special domain skills, capital markets, they will be the business testers, capital markets or the banking knowledge, regulatory risk, compliance, all these things will be there. But just manual testing, writing test cases and executing test cases, I don't think that is going to stick on for a long time. Okay. Unfortunately, we are 10 minutes running late, and we have like few more questions, but unfortunately, we will not be able to take it up today. Let me know if you guys are interested. I can arrange a follow-up session where we will try to answer these kinds of questions. And also on this Thursday, 9 o'clock in the evening, we have a agile meetup where I have invited a couple of enterprise agile coaches to give us a walkthrough on the agile journey, how to get started as a scrum master, or what is the career path for a scrum master and all. So try to join. It's also in the LinkedIn audio room, because I feel that LinkedIn audio room is the best place where people can just uh, uh, get into the meetings very easily. And a special thanks to Jimmy and Sajid for uh, accepting my request and coming and uh, sharing your ideas or thoughts. Thanks, Jimmy. Thanks, Sajid. And thanks everyone for attending the session.
Just one tip for all these job seekers: all what you have learned in your engineering, right? What all technology systems and how you are learned in building system, try to apply that in your job search itself. I think you'll be much successful than your normal job seeker.
Thank you, Sajid. Jimmy, any closing words?
I just wish everybody all the best. Just understand that you'll have to hold fort. It's not an ideal market. It's a good time to chase your hustle and chase your dreams. If you all have anything on the cards in terms of education or an alternate career, whatever is keeping you back, let that go and move forward with that as well. Okay. Don't just get stuck up on this. I have to get this. I have to get this. Don't do that. To be very honest. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, Sudhi.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Then we'll meet for the next session. Have a good night and good luck with your job search. Thanks. And for all the other questions, we will try to answer. You can PM me in LinkedIn, or we can just wait for the next session. Okay, or else you can just ping me in the WhatsApp and ping me in the LinkedIn, and we can take it up from there. Thank you. Have a good night. Bye.